Something about self-worth. I know in the matrix system we often hear everyone speaking about the inflation and the deficit is keep going up and irresponsible governors management adding up the cost of living continue to climb up. So that is the external model, and this is how we value things. When we do that, what we really have to learn, because the large scale, the deficit is going up, the inflation rising up, but management is must, and in order to get a handle of these situations, we have to prioritize. So that is the external world. But when we're navigating spiritual information warfare, we have no choice but to go internal and figure these things out. Now, we often hear about our ability to get to know ourselves in depth, because the operating system, your emotional, spiritual, it is what's governing our physical, and our thoughts are like our Wi-Fi. That is our awareness, our clarity or lack of clarity, lack of connection to the source. Everything is manifesting in real life. When we have these kind of hunch and awareness and clarity, life becomes more manageable, and we're doing this inner work because we have no other options. In order to protect your vessel, you need to be able to go internal and look at yourself. The time is limited, but we know that life is a cycle. We have a hunch, we have intuition, we have a sort of common sense, educated guess. Let's see what happens if we can come up with some examples and see where we go with these most inner thoughts. We have extreme clarity regarding these things, but we need to be able to have put things into words. Maybe it's another option, another awareness, another observation, and we can sort of not so perfect, but try to have a go and try to navigate these thoughts. Now, self-worth is something we inherently come into this world. When you're younger, we aren't using our brain as much and controlling our behaviors. We are free. We are our scarcity is we're really experimenting. We're exploring. We're not so scared. But then the social setup and the circumstances and the level of gaslighting, manipulation, programming, or deliberate sabotage really play a direct role into giving up our self-worth and the divine vessel that we are, the level of connection to the source. And some of us, the black sheeps, we try to maintain that level of self-worth. This is the only way you can protect yourself. So even if we have a lot of judgment and lack of nurturing and critical judgment, sabotage, or something, how the guardians or the parents or siblings, all these interpersonal relationship, this is the perfect school for us to navigate these things and put things into practice. How, and we can also observe and how we how we use these tools, and to like when you get your first employment, you will be like, wow, I'm so grateful I got this gig, and so I don't have to eat rocks and live under a bridge. So this is the kind of satisfactory, but you are so new and exploring, but then with time you find out all sorts of things where extremely trying for your mind, body, spirit vessel to continue to be within these parameters. This is how we navigate these things, and you'll be like, wow, this is not really work out to be very satisfactory, or the comfort level set in, so you are now scared of losing, so therefore you are just dealing with it and internalize things. But it has consequences. Every time we internalize things, it's got consequences for our mind, body, spirit vessel. And it can break down over time. It's get your stress and scared and anxiety increases, like the inflation is increasing in a rapid pace. And at some point you'll be like, hey, even if I had to eat rocks and live under a tree, this is not working for me anymore. This is the kind of strength, awareness, connection, and unknown level of scarcity that comes with the unknown factors for the future. All of these things play a really big role when it comes to our self-worth. The children, for example, we come into this world having all of these things. We aren't scared, we aren't programmed, we have inherent awareness of who we are, what we are, and we are there to explore, navigate, learn, and experiment things, because this is what life is all about. Now we also know that life is a cycle, and it's an educational guess. It's a hunch, it's awareness, it's intuition. With the limited time, we're trying to get the maximum learnings done here in this earth gig, in this human life. We don't have all the answers. We're navigating information spiritual warfare. So the self-worth is something really important for us to maintain that connection to the source. We have to learn a lot about us, and perhaps not learn anything new. Try to remember what we were already came with. And the self-worth, and the inflation goes up, the deficit goes up, meaning how is it directly connected to our self-worth? Our inability to prioritize, inability to process information and navigate have a lot to do with all of these social setups and the circumstances and the matrix system. This is why we have to do this inner work, and there is no other way around, as far as I know. Instead, doing things externally really doesn't, it's sort of forgetting, it's sort of trying to forget, is sort of not willing to look at inner self. Therefore, we are relying on the matrix systems to, they have good models, but are they practical in the long term? Not really. This is why it's important to prioritize and these energies, how we're prioritize how we spend our energies and our life source, the human batteries. If we are bombarded with a lot of stress and anxiety and desires, we are really digging ourselves into a bigger hole. Especially last few weeks or a couple of weeks, I feel a little bit triggered. Nothing major. I've always thought to myself, wow, I've done a lot of work on myself. I've done healing. I am continuously working to improve my well-being. That includes my physical self. Don't really have a lot of issues that I used to have when I was out there working. But what happened is, when we do a lot of work on ourselves, the minor things we aren't really looking at, because like the kettle, you know, when you're boiling kettle for tea, the bubbles keep coming up. This is how I interpret these triggering points. They are usually attached to your childhood and your family issues, and absolutely nothing major. Even I've never gone through major problems, but the ideal way is that, oh, we have to be grateful because we have a place to live, we have a security, we have a meal, so therefore we are to be grateful, that never discuss anything. This is the kind of cultural norm for everyone. We are to be grateful because we have employment, we have a family, we have relatives, we have governments, we have social structures and systems to fall back. So we really mustn't be talking about anything. Is we should be shut up and be grateful. But life, we're spiritual, emotional beings, we're light bodies. Our life doesn't work this way. Who can live like this? We never have opinion. We are people pleasing because we don't want to upset the existing norm. Level of trauma body, level of toxicity, level of ancestral trauma, level of inner child trauma. If we are accustomed to these ways of life, we are to never criticize, we're never to observe, we're never to have the outlet for these kind of dialogue. It's defeat the purpose of life. That is a dead system. That's nothing vibrant can happen, grow in these circumstances. Even then, this is the kind of awareness and clarity we have to come to terms with. Now, I do have a point. These things that come up, they are directly related to healing your inner child and your ancestral issues, and dysfunctional and families, lack of absence of nuclear families. All of these things, which are pretty much the normal dysfunction throughout the world, we are observing now. We have a clarity regarding these things, and in order for us to do any kind of meaningful healing, we need to be able to address these things without being scared of judgment, scared of what happens. So this is where I run into a lot of problems, because I get stuck because the diplomacy is not a big thing with me. I see things from a fresh set of eyes every time, because I have awareness somewhere. So but we should be able to navigate these complicated things that is really we have no other way. So perfect example I can come up with, the grandmother figure that my father's mother, they never really help my, I think there is a level of trauma body there. They are really good, helpful, charming people, right? So I don't, let's see. So while there is a relationship go broken, there are young generations, there are children that's get involved. In this case, it's me. When your parents are split up, uh, I have to be the one who have to deal with all these circumstances. So because of that level of dysfunction, lack of support, maybe perhaps a lot of trauma bonding, so then you have to go into in this case, I was living in a couple of different places in my life before I come here and make my own way through life. And because of this reason, I had no choice but to go internal and figure these things out. So now, even the little bits of emotional triggers have a physical reaction, because you get a little bit of here, like a flare up of inflammation, or inability to sleep, or a little bit of anxiety. It is always followed with the physical issues. So we have to pay attention to these things, and the purging is all about healing. In order to heal, we have to look at things in an most honest, authentic place, the situations, how they affect your life. So these are kind of examples, and this is why we are unable to just, hey, we are grateful for all that, because when we're involved with people who aren't your parents, and that's not their responsibility to raise you, so we are to be grateful. But at the same time, because of the trauma body, maybe perhaps karma, the lessons that we are to learn, to create boundaries, find out, eliminate people pleasing, eliminate or address that self-worth issues. We have to go through this, and these are very directly related to how you process information and level of work that you are to do in your life. So is it making any sense? Let's keep on going. So this is a perfect example that I'm going through after all this time. I've done a lot of work, but the minor things keep coming up. Because we're hoping for acknowledgement. A perfect example, this woman was really creative, baking and creating pastries and all these things. It was kind of hobby for after work, and she's got a lot of orders. I don't think her office friends kind of situation, I don't think she made that to make a lot of money out of it. It was like a hobby, so she didn't even price them. She uses the most luxurious items, the perfect most organic items for her baking. It was all the work that the point I'm trying to make is I was the one who was doing all the cutting and chopping and getting all these things ready while she was at work doing her office gig. But it was never acknowledged, never a thanks, not a thank you, uh, never any kind of reward. It was always, you're doing this. But she's very careful, and you never put it together, actually get involved with the actual baking. You're just doing these chores. And so as a little girl, you're 13, 14, you want to impress this person, you want to do more, do all your chores, and but what I was trying to convey is that was never happening. There was no acknowledgement, there was no appreciation, there was no rewards. It wasn't never done. And but you still continue to impress and do your thing, and you thought it was something expected from you. But what that really did was, you really quickly you learn that this is not something available. Acknowledgement, nurturing, appreciation, it doesn't come from external agents. They're already set up. Their matrix existence, trauma bonding, hostility, unkindness, that is their life, because they haven't done any inner work. They done everything externally, the matrix system, the place and the jobs and all the setup is there, but the inner work was not there. They didn't have any children either. Hello, I am like a coconut. But it was an opportunity for them to nurture another child. And what I learned from these experiences, you cannot wait for other people to validate. You cannot wait to create boundaries. And there were never any kind of punishment or anything like that. It's just a whole bunch of hurt feelings, the emotional things you internalize, and these things are coming up and you're purging, and because you're healing a little bit of inflammation, and all of these things now come to surface. And the self-worth, going back to self-worth situation, the people pleasing was one of a big thing. I generally like everyone. Even then, before I forget, this person, I went to their family for my school holidays before I lived there permanently. She was really nice to me. She got me these really fancy books and for me to bring back, and I was showing my family there, and really excited. So there was a lot of goodness there. So we don't want to lose hope completely. And it's like a foundation for what is to come. It's like the source God, the Most High, is got most compassionate way of teaching you lessons. But if you don't do inner work, you're giving into the anger, resentment, and scarcity without doing inner work. It's going to have consequences. If we don't do our inner work, it's going to manifest at some point, perhaps physical and mental, spiritual. They come crashing down. So this is why we need to do this work and establish ourselves. You're still young enough, healthy, and so we are not relying on external systems to completely govern you. And that was that example. But if you uses the matrix system, how we go on our life and creating these personas without doing inner work, we are not really we're not really releasing anything. We are internalized. Even myself, I was thinking I'm like really healthy, I've done all the work there is, and but the last few days, maybe even couple of weeks, I feel like I'm kind of struggling with something, nothing major, just a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of inflammation, sort of things, nothing I can't handle, and work towards something. So in order for me to do that, we need to purge in the most constructive way. And now, speaking about self-worth, there is a whole lot of issues regarding the mother issues, but it wasn't really I think before I had to go into that, I need to address these things from this early childhood and the experiences, how they internalize, even if they aren't really significant problems. We are to be grateful, we are to be humble. People are doing the best they can. This is the attitude, this is even cultural norm for the humanity. We are to be grateful, but what we don't realize is at the circle of life, we go through these repetitively if we don't address. And who wants to be miserable? Who wants to just be never have opinion, never life doesn't work that way. It's a dead entities. Even if everything is perfect on the surface, and when you are struggling internally, you aren't connected. The stronger your connection to the source, more you know about your own self, and clarity regarding what your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, and they become easier. And this is how we move forward from this, because the matrix system is really committed. We had to really appreciate the level of level of energies, time to these control mechanisms, the effort they have put upon this humanity around the world is commendable. It's like magical even. But what do we have done for ourselves? We are just blindly leading for our victim. And you see, we aren't prioritizing our finances, we aren't prioritizing our energies, we are not prioritizing our needs. We are chasing what we want and think we want, and there is a level of disconnection there. But look at these people that is running the show in the matrix system. Anybody can but what is the most highlighted thoughts that I'm coming up with, we aren't angry anymore. It's like a connection with the humanity in the most compassionate manner. We used to get triggered all over the place regarding everything, but even the politicians, there is nothing there, just a repetitive, habitual program entities doing the matrix bidding. You can't even be angry with them anymore. There's nothing there. There's exhaustion, there's anxiety, there's a disconnection, even ill health, even logics and practical logical sense is completely gone. The spiritual heart-centered existence is completely gone. And so these kind of individuals, you can go and spend this fancy card to live luxurious life, but it really doesn't matter. You're dead inside, you're disconnected inside, you're scared inside, you're confused inside, because this is why we do things without thinking about the consequences. You're the most prestige places into the social structure. Even these people that run around islands and abusing and experimenting and feasting on human energies, even flesh, but there is a level of disconnection. Before, you used to be like really angry, even confused and shocked and get triggered, but there's empty vessels there. Nothing is mechanical and clinical, and just some kind of programs written, and they're following through these things without really knowing anything about self and the kind of relationship, inner connection to your inner self. Another perfect example, look at the way these people, when you meet them in the park, if you're a dog lover, you see the way these people look at these another dogs or birds, or their eyes are like glowing, and they are in a presence of like extraordinary energies there. And these people would never do anything to hurt them. For the majority of time, they are really, sometimes they're bad pet owners too, but I really don't think majority of these people ever do anything to hurt these animals. And you can see from their eyes, they're glowing, and the face get light up and smile. You see, observe these interactions out there. So it's not some kind of a rocket science, you see. And when you see them, you'll never do anything to hurt. And anyway, you're never going to start off this way. And the people, when you do your inner work, you're learning to love your human as your fellow humans. And the worst individuals, you will still have that little bit of compassion and little bit of connection, and maybe even a very least experiences, behaviors you can see from a little bit of different perspective. So this is the kind of empowerment you get when you do this inner work, and you release to the cosmic. You're learning that love frequency, and you can't it's not something that you can, I mean, I'm not sure the enlightened state, but when you're working through this, you get less triggered, you get less annoyed. You learn that you have a choice to turn off. You have choice to never, it's not because we're ignorant, it's because that kind of setup, these kind of energies is not really compatible with your current existence. So that is an enormous level of relief. Same thing, getting older doesn't mean that you need to go get diagnosed every other week about something. I'm not a medical person, right? So it's not a medical advice. It's something that's worked for me. So when you do that, you become healthier version of yourself. Your less visits, and sometimes we don't never go back. I don't recommend it, but it's not how the system set up. But the more you are independent, vitality, healthy and vitality, your well-being become obvious, and you are not relying on external sources to fix you up, because we learn to because I don't have any kind of patience for that. I never did, and that's not something I want to look forward to. That's not something I want to do. But we can be grateful and appreciative for the critical care system, but not something I'm looking forward to, because we have a handle on our own health and vitality, because we're well informed, we're well connected, we are not adding to the deficit of ill health. And so therefore this is the empowerment position. When you have a self-worth, to create these kind of stronger awareness, because if you're feeling iffy, if you're constantly scared, constantly have a lot of anxiety regarding every little thing, we got to run to the matrix system to fix you. It's like chickens are never going to be roaming with the wolf, and in this case the consumers as society is the one is going to consume you. And the sooner we as humans learn these things, we become empowered, and we are taking the initiative to empower ourselves instead of being a victim into every system, the financial, the spiritual, religious, the economics, and the health, and all sorts of other areas. So that's the end goal, is for us to be empowered and thrive in with the needs, and create a level of comfort of existence. Because we are empowered, we are connected to the source. We know that our energetic vessel, we know a lot about our mind, body, spirit vessel. This is how we navigate these difficult but very important and necessary dialogue regarding our thoughts and our thinking, our thoughts, and our inner operating system. Thank you.